Happy Monday. Let's have another winning week and talk some more baseball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we are back to talk some seam. That's right. Hope you guys had a great 4th of July weekend. I'm ready to get back to the grind. Over the weekend, we broke even about like we do every single weekend, it seems like. But we're up a few units in July so far. Let's have another winning week like we did last week. But of course, before we get into anything, you guys know any graphics you see in this video are from OUTLIER. It is the best betting research tool on the market today. Click that link below in the description. You get a 7-day free trial, and I use this every single flipping day. But let's get into it. And I got an MLB fun fact, a very recent one actually. This is crazy. 3 players in Cubs history have 3 home runs in a single game versus the Cardinals. All of them did it on July 4th. That's insane. Hank Lieber, 1939, Moises Alou in 2003, and Michael Busch on Friday. That's right. 3 Cubs have 3 home run games against the Cardinals, all on July 4th. That's just insane. Anyways, in this video, we're going to recap that weekend and then go over the good and bad hitter matchups. And then we have the aces of bases like we do every other Monday. And then we'll give you the best pitcher strikeout matchups, the entire pitcher report. And of course, we will finish it with the best bets and the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below to help this channel continue to grow. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Come join this awesome community. I'm ready to get it rolling. By the way, there's a Discord link below. Click on that. Completely free to join. And we talk sports every single day. So let's get it rolling. And that means it's recap time. All right, there is the recap. And again, like I said, broke even. But Friday, nice 2-in-1 day. We kept it rolling there. Charlie Morton over 4.5 Ks. That was never a doubt. He was a stud. All team total parlay got the job done yet again. And then the Angels money line. Again, even on these underdog plays we've been making, what I really like is we're in it in the 8th or 9th inning. They ended up losing in extra innings. They had their chances in the 10th inning. But either way, I like to see that because at least we're not picking a ton of underdogs where they lose 9-1, not even close. Again, it might happen. I'm just saying lately it hasn't. But Saturday, Orioles money line plus 130. That underdog actually cashed. That's right. They won it in extras. And then the all-team total parlay, that one did not because, well, the Tigers just didn't get 3 runs against Logan Allen. I don't even know what to say. They scored 1 run. They won 1-0 though. But Carlos Rodon over 17.5 outs was absolutely horrendous. He was terrible. Anyone in a Yankee uniform is bad right now, apparently. And then Saturday, Saturday broke our streak of profitable days. And then Sunday, Guardians team total under 2.5. They had 1 going to the 9th, and then they went to extras because the Tigers tied it up. But luckily, they still ended on 2. So we'll take the win there. And you guys know if you saw my ex's tweets, whatever you want to call them, Orioles team total over 3.5. They had 2 runs in like the 7th inning, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, didn't get any runs. Then the 8th inning, 2nd and 3rd, 0 outs. There was in those situations, there's 3 straight Ks, and then we had a ground ball out that should have been a run. The guy at third just didn't want to run, and then another ground out. It was just the chances are there. Again, that's going to happen. It's baseball, but that was frustrating. Should have been a 2-0 Sunday, but either way, 1-1 split. There's the overall record down below, down 6.28 units. Like I said, we're down just around 10 units or just under heading into July, so we're up a few units. Let's keep it rolling. Let's have another winning week. But that's what I got for the recap. Now let's talk the hitter matchups. All right, we got 7 good hitter matchups for you today, starting out with Mr. Cronenworth, 8 for 26 off Gallon of Milk. But you will see down there Corbin Carroll, 7 for 13, 3 extra base hits, and 2 Jimmy Jacks off of Yu Darvish. Do you remember the name Yu Darvish? He is back on the mound. And then you see McCann over there as well, Noda and Jonah Heim. So not huge names, other than Corbin Carroll, obviously. But that's all we got for the good hitter matchups. Take a screenshot. Now let's move over to the bad hitter matchups. And just 3 of them. Higashioka versus Kikuchi. 2 for 16 with 6 Ks. Perdomo, how about 0 for 14 with 7 Ks off Darvish? That's not good. And then Maldonado, 0 for 10, 4 Ks off of Gallon of Milk. So that's what we got for the hitter matchups. Now let's talk the aces of bases. All right, like we do every other Monday, we want to give you the total bases leaders in Major League Baseball over the last 15 days, and it starts with a couple Cubbies. That's right, Seiya Suzuki, 44, and Michael Busch, who we just talked about, 40 total bases. This offense can be really fun to watch. Then we got Springer, Rosarena, Kyle Stowers has been really swinging it. He had a big slump in the middle, but he's really swinging it. Aaron Judge, no surprise there. All the way down to Rafaela, Story, Bellinger, and Chisholm. All been swinging the bat pretty well. Even with these 3 Yankees in the top 10, again, they're not winning a lot. That's for sure. But that's page 1. Take a screenshot. Now let's move over to page 2. We started out with Riley Green up there, and then Canzone, who always makes me want to eat something. I don't know, calzone, something like that. But Canzone, 31 total bases, swinging the bat well for the Mariners. Hasn't been doing stuff like that most of the year. But then you see guys like Joe Adell. Again, he's been just a hitting machine lately. Some of you guys have been betting his hits prop, HRR props quite a bit lately. And then Altuve, Matt Olson, Vinny P, and then I just put the final three, still tied with Vinny P and Altuve, but all with 30. Cam Smith, Juan Soto, and Bobby Witt Jr. So hopefully this helps you some way or another with some base props, hits props, whatever it is. But that's what we got for the aces of bases. Now let's talk some Ks. All right, we got two good pitcher strikeout matchups for you today, and we start out with the man, Jacob deGrom at the Angels. Angels' fifth highest K rate versus righties, 24.2%. deGrom, 100 Ks in 101.1 innings. He actually has 6+ Ks in 5 straight starts, but what he doesn't have is a high ceiling for Ks. He's only had more than 7 in 3 of 17 starts. Something to keep in mind. Much higher K rate on the road, though, so this is a good spot for him. 32.5% compared to 21.4 at home. And then a higher K rate versus lefties, 29.2% compared to an incredibly low 16.7% K rate versus righties. Now, the second one, the lefty, Christopher Sanchez at the Giants. The Giants, if you don't know, the #1 highest K rate versus lefties in the last 3 weeks, almost 29%. Sanchez, 108 Ks and 100.2 innings. He's been a little up and down with his Ks lately. Last 5 starts, 9, 5, 4, 11, and 5 strikeouts. But lower K rate on the road as well, 24.1 compared to 28.5 at home. Slightly lower K rate versus righties, 26.7 compared to lefties, 24.1. Or sorry, slightly higher K rate, 26.7. But he faced the Giants already this year on April 17th, and guys, he had the game of his season. 12 strikeouts in 7 innings. Can he repeat it? We will find out. But that's what we got for the best pitcher strikeout matchups. Now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, here are the first 5 matchups of the day. If you're new to the channel, we do this every single day to kind of help you out. Hopefully start your betting day out and kind of where you want to go from there. But Shane Baz versus Jack Flaherty. Some books don't have a pitcher for Detroit, so be sure to check that. But right now it looks like it's Flaherty. But Shane Baz, he found his form again last 2 starts. How about 7 and 8 innings, a total of 20 strikeouts and just 3 earned runs allowed versus the A's and the Royals. And then we got Jack Flaherty. If you don't know, he is struggling lately. 7, 8, 3, and 3 earned runs allowed in his last 4 with 14 walks in those 18 innings. He has just completely lost his command. And then we have Austin Gomber versus Dick Fitz. That's right. Gomber hasn't gone more than 5 innings in his 4 starts. 3 decent starts, 1 horrendous. Again, small sample size, as you see there, only 19.2 innings. His bad start was versus Arizona, where he gave up 9 runs. 9 of his 12 earned runs in that one start. And then Dick Fitz. He's all over the place, really, with his pitch count, especially 83 and then 38 in his last 2 starts for 3 and 4 innings. And then the next matchup, honestly, it's Junk. We need a game where Dick Fitz faces Junk. It just feels right. But anyways, Junk versus Singer. Junk's been decent, giving up 2 or less earned runs in 6 of his 8 starts. And this is the crazy part. He has elite command. You see that 1.3% walk rate? That is not a misprint. He has 2 walks in 37.1 innings. And then Brady Singer, just 56 pitches last start due to a rain delay, but he's given up 3 or less earned runs in 7 of his last 8 starts. And then we got the lefty Andrew Heaney versus the lefty Noah Cameron. Heaney, after getting rocked last couple starts for 14 total earned runs, he gave up 0 earned runs in 6.2 innings with 7 Ks against the Cardinals in his last start. And then the rookie Noah Cameron, how about giving up 1 or less earned run in 7 of 9 starts? I mean, he's been really impressive. He's not missing a ton of bats or doing anything crazy, but he's limiting hits. As you can see, 6 hits per 9 innings. And then Jose Barrios versus Sean Burke. Barrios been solid this season except for a few blow-up starts like last one against the Yankees where he gave up 6 earned runs. Going up against Burke, who's actually been really good lately, giving up just 2 earned runs in his last 16.1 innings. So that's what we got for page 1. Let's check out page 2 now. And we start with Yamamoto versus Peralta. Yamamoto back to his old self lately, but I will say this, in his last 2 starts, it was against the White Sox and the Rockies. So something to keep in mind, not exactly the best of offenses. And then Peralta, he's been solid all season long. You see the ERA, expect ERA, still missing bats. 6+ Ks now in 6 of his last 7 starts. Tanner Bybee versus Colton Gordon. Bybee's struggling lately, if you guys have not noticed. He's given up 5 earned runs in 2 of the 3 starts. 2+ earned runs now in 7 straight starts. Going up against Gordon, who had a rough outing. Some of us watched it. He had a rough outing in Coors Field with 4 earned runs allowed. Hasn't gone more than 5 innings, actually, in 6 of his last 7 starts. And then DeGrom, who we talked about a little bit, going up against Yusei Kikuchi. I say Kakachi. DeGrom, giving up 2 or less earned runs in 14 straight starts. This guy is giving his team a chance to win every single time he steps on the mound. And speaking of that, Kikuchi, how about giving up 3 or less earned runs in 16 of 18 starts? He's got his ERA all the way down to 2.81. But again, you see an expected ERA of 4.04. It doesn't help that he has a 10.6% walk rate as well. And then we got a Gallon of Milk versus Yu Darvish. Gallon coming off his best start of the year, 7 innings, 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts versus the Giants. Again, Gallon has not been good this year, as we talked about. But Yu Darvish, my goodness, I almost forgot he was in the league. He is making his first start of the year. He has not pitched since September 27th. Obviously, going to be on a pitch count. We'll see what that is. And then we end it with Christopher Sanchez versus Landon Roop. Sanchez, 6 straight quality starts, giving up 2 or less earned runs in 7 straight. This guy's been rock steady. And then Roop, how about 2 earned runs given up only in his last 15.1 innings? He does have 2+ walks, though, in 9 straight starts. So that's what we got for the entire pitcher report and all the research help. Now it's time for the best bets. All right, this first one takes us out to Kansas City, where the Royals host the Pittsburgh Pirates. Royals on the money line, -157. Pirates money line, +128, with a total of 8.5 runs. My best bet is an under. Give me the Royals team total under 4.5 at -118 on FanDuel. This can be a half unit play. Now, betting an under team total against Andrew Heaney can be a little scary, but let's talk through this. So let's start with Mr. Heaney. He has given up 2 or less earned runs in 6 of his last 10. So he's had some good starts. The 4 overs weren't pretty. Let's see who they were against, though. How about 5 earned runs at Arizona? 3 earned runs at the Cubs, which was actually a pretty decent start. 7 earned runs at Detroit, 7 earned runs at Milwaukee. Some offenses that are hitting the ball really well. He's pitched well versus lesser teams. He's also pitched well in some road starts. 1 earned run at Philly, 2 earned runs at San Diego. And he also pitched decent versus righties this season. 220 average against, and a 392 slugging, and just a 301 WOBA. You like to see that against this Royals offense. I've talked about the Royals offense this year. When you do want to tail them, it's usually on the road. Obviously in Seattle, where one of their series was, that's a tough place to hit. But if you look at these wild stats from Outlier in the last 10 home games, so when Kansas City hits at home, they're under this line in 9 of the last 10, averaging just 2.1 runs per game. I'm not done yet. In all home games this year, they are under in an insane 38 of 44 games. That's right. In 86% of their home games, they are under 4.5 runs. In the 8 home games they faced versus a lefty starter, that's right, just 8 home games, they're under this line in all 8, averaging a putrid 1.75 runs per game. In the last 3 weeks overall versus righties, or versus lefties, 21st in WRC plus, and that's worse at home. Royals have a ton of righties in this lineup. Like I mentioned, Andrew Heaney, because of its pitch mix, is actually better versus righties. And then behind Heaney, if you don't know, is a Pirates bullpen that has just been dynamite. In the last 30 days, they have the number 1 bullpen in regards to ERA, 1.99 ERA with a decent 4 xFIP. So again, this is a Pittsburgh team that's been limiting runs and a Royals team that just can't score at home. So with Heaney on the mound, as long as he can be decent and then hand it off to this dominant bullpen, I just don't see KC scoring 5 runs. So give me the Royals team total under 4.5 runs for the 39th time this season as my first best bet. All right, this next one takes us out to San Francisco, where the Giants host the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies money line -145, Giants money line +120, with a total of 7.5 runs. I got another under. This time it's just the full game. Give me the under 7.5 runs in this one for a half unit. First, we have to talk with a spot here. Phillies just played a home game on Sunday, now traveling across the country to play the very next day. That's not going to be easy, from Philadelphia all the way to San Francisco. And then the Giants. This is an easier travel spot. They're only traveling from Sacramento. But guess what? They're coming off Sunday Night Baseball. We love to fade offenses in Sunday Night Baseball. And then the second one, this is one of the most friendly parks in the league. We know that. Cool air, low-scoring games at night in San Francisco with those weird, swirly-type winds they have there. And now the pitching matchup, Christopher Sanchez versus Landon Roop. Sanchez, been absolutely awesome this season. Like I mentioned, the K matchups, he dominated San Francisco in April. Gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs with 12 strikeouts in 7 innings. He now has 6 straight quality starts. And then Roop, like I mentioned in the pitcher report, giving up 2 earned runs in the last 15.1 innings. He can walk a few guys. He's given up an impressive 2 or less earned runs, though, in 9 of his 11 starts. His worst start was at the Dodgers. Again, the best offense in the league. He keeps his team in the game. But for me, it comes down to walks. He's had 4, 2, and 3 walks in the last 3 games. Still only managed to give up 2 earned runs. I would like to hope, I'd sign up for 2 walks right now, but I just got to stay away from the 3, 4, 5 walks. But even when he's been doing that, he's been getting out of some jams. So offenses both are in a flat spot like we talked about. Giants been awful versus lefties lately. Last 30 days, versus lefties. How about dead last WRC plus, dead last batting average, hitting 184, and dead last in slugging. Phillies versus righties last 3 weeks, been pretty decent, 10th WRC plus, but most of that damage is when they are at home with that wind blowing out, great weather. The last 30 days versus righties on the road, and that's 333 at bats. They have the 5th lowest WRC plus, 6th lowest batting average, 8th lowest slugging, and then bullpens. If you don't know, the Phillies bullpen is 100% rested. Why? Because Zach Wheeler just threw 9 innings shutout yesterday. So they're in great shape. Giants bullpen, Doval threw 19 pitches on Sunday Night Baseball, but it's his first appearance since Wednesday. He might even be available. Rogers and Rodriguez both pitched yesterday, but it was only 6 pitches each. Giants bullpen in pretty good shape too. So bad traveling spot, kind of a letdown spot for offenses. 2 solid starting pitchers in great form. Giants awful versus lefties. Phillies have not been good versus righties on the road. 2 very rested bullpens. Great pitchers park. All signs point to the under for me. So give me the under 7.5 as my second best bet. All right, you didn't think we were getting out of here without an alternate team total parlay, did you? That's right. Bet number 3. I got 3 teams, minus 123 on DraftKings. This could be a half unit play for me here. It was a smaller slate, less to pick from, but I still like it. Give me the Red Sox team total over 3.5, Reds team total over 2.5, and the Angels team total under 6.5. That is the D-juicer. So the Red Sox team total over 3.5. This one is set at 5.5 for a reason. They've been swinging it well lately. Let's talk the Sox offense in the last 8 games. They traded Devers, went in a little slump, and now they've picked it up. In the last 8 games, they've scored 4+ runs in 7 of those 8, 10+ runs in 4 of those 8. Just scored 11, 10, and 6 runs over the weekend in Washington, D.C. They crushed a couple lefties there as well. Now facing lefty Austin Gomber. This is a tough matchup for him because he really struggles versus righties, and that's an understatement. He has given up a 352 average and 620 slugging. Now, it's only 75 batters because he hasn't been pitching all season, but still, it hasn't been good. If you look back at last year, he also struggled. 286 average, 489 slugging, 465 xFIP. And you're going to see the Red Sox with probably about 7 righties in this lineup. So I think it's going to be a tough matchup. And then behind him, Rockies bullpen, awful. Weather, 85 degrees, 10 miles an hour wind, blowing out in Fenway Park. I like some runs here. Give me the Bo Sox for 4+ runs as my first leg. And then the Reds team total over 2.5. In their last 10 games, they're over this in 7 of the last 10. They are coming off 2 clunkers in Philadelphia, but it was against Zach Wheeler and Ranger Suarez. So take that for what it is. They've scored 3+ runs in 6 straight before those 2 games. In their last 10 versus righties at home, how about over in all 10 games? Over the last 20 games versus right-handed pitching at home, over in 17 of 20, averaging 5 runs per game. And now they are facing Mr. Junk. That's right, the guy with no junk. Only made 8 starts this year. Only 4 road starts. And guess what? His 4 road starts, how about the Giants, Nats, Pirates, and the Angels back in May when they were struggling? And in the Giants game, he gave up 5 earned runs. Nats, 1 earned run, 9 hits and 5 earned runs to the Pirates, and then 1 earned run to the Angels way back in May. Facing on the road, this Cincy offense will be his toughest matchup in a very big-time hitter's park. And in fact, the toughest matchup, if you look at everything he's faced all year, it's either the Braves or the Twins offense. So this is going to be different. 88 degrees, slight wind blowing out. I like some runs. Give me the Reds for 3+ runs. And the final one, the D-juicer. The Angels team total under 6.5. It's the Angels versus Jacob deGrom. That should be enough. But if you look back at Jacob deGrom's 17 starts this year, the opponent has scored 6 or fewer runs in all 17 games. That's right. Not one single opponent versus deGrom has ended the game with 7 or more runs. That alone should make you feel pretty safe here. But I even like under 5.5 if you want to do that. But he's been absolutely lights out. He's been going deeper into games, so you don't have to worry about the bullpen as much either. Angels offense under 6.5 runs in 30 of 40 home games. I cannot imagine them scoring 7 runs off of deGrom, and actually this improving Rangers bullpen as well. So give me the Red Sox team total over 3.5, Reds team total over 2.5, and Angels team total under 6.5. That is my third and final best bet. Of course, any added plays will be in the pinned comments below on X and on Discord. So before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. My 3 best bets on a smaller slate today. Royals team total under 4.5 for a half unit, under 7.5 runs. Phillies Giants for a half unit, and then the alternate team total parlay. I'm going to lower it down to half unit here with a little bit less to choose from. But Red Sox over 3.5, Reds over 2.5, and Angels under 6.5. So that's what I got. Thank you guys for watching. As always, really appreciate the support. Let's have another great week. But hope you have a great Monday, and we'll talk to you soon.